It is a great day to be alive. Sometimes you don't know how lucky you are, Alvin. I was driving on the highway Thursday and I was heading to Jackson and my front wheel on my Buick was shaking. And it kept shaking and it stopped for a minute and I drive a few miles and it started shaking again. I said, well, I need to get to Jackson to go to work. But I decided, let me just turn around and take it to the tire shop. I took it to the tire shop and they said, this is not a quick fix. It's going to take some time. We got to order the part. And it said, the car is not safe to drive. If you drive this car to Jackson, this wheel going to come off. I'm thinking to myself, it's just a little vibration and I could have been gone. Anybody just thank God for what didn't happen sometime in your life? Come on now. Never have I seen anything like that. But it was much more serious than I thought. But God would bring you through. Have you been good to anybody here today? Have he brought you through? Come on now. Even when you're doing right, there's still crazy folks on the road. We were coming back last night from Birmingham about 3 in the morning. And the game was, after the game, and somebody passed my truck. Tito, we going 70. My truck started shaking. They had to be going 100 and something. So I just thank God sometimes he protects me from crazy people sometimes. If you would rest up on your feet, there is a word today. I was on schedule to sing, and Ashley said, I got a friend from Atlanta that's going to come, and they want to do total praise. They said, can we take out one song? I said, take mine out. And as we were driving, I told my wife, as I just talked to Ashley, and he said, and I'm not going to have to sing tomorrow. And she said, good. But I don't mind, though. I don't mind. We'll say that for another time. If you would, we'll be coming from Matthew. The focal point will be verse 30, but we're going to read 28 through 30. And I'll be reading from the ESV version of the Bible. And it says this right here. It says, come to me, all who what? Labor. And are heavy what? Labor. I will give you who? Rest. It says, take my who? Yoke. Upon who? You. Learn from me, for I am who? Gentle. Lowly in what? Heart. And you will find who? For your what? Soul. It says, for my yoke is easy and my burdens are what? Light. You may be seated. Today I want to talk about release your burdens. Release your burdens. I don't know if you're facing burden from your kids acting up. I don't know if your job situation is not where it needs to be. But I come to tell you that we're all doing much better than we really think. As I passed by Walmart this morning, I passed by a bridge. I saw some people sleeping under the bridge. And I think each and every person in here had a roof over your head last night. And God is saying, what is troubling you? And something is troubling you and something is troubling me that I can't handle myself and you can't handle yourself. But God has said, bring it to me and I'll give you some rest. So today we're telling you to release your burden. The Bible said, cast all your cares on me. I'm telling you, when I go fishing, I don't just put it out there. I have to cast my reel out there. That means violently throw it out there and get rid of it. When the devil bring you mess, throw it on to God. God is saying, release your burdens. I will make your yoke light. And God knows when you're doing what he asks you to do. There was a teacher and they was talking about these 4 boys walked in class late. They was playing around and joyriding. They came to school and when they got to school tardy and it was test day. And they said, well, teacher, we had a flat tire. And she told the 4 boys to go in all different 4 corners. She said, I'm going to let you take your test if you answer just one question. And the question was, which tire was flat? I come to tell you, your teacher know when you're telling the truth or not. Yeah. Your teacher know when you're doing the right thing. Because right then they had that, that face, that joker face when you know something ain't right. I'm telling you, when you tell God you're going to give it to him, but you still up tossing and turning, you have not given it to him. The Pharisees called Jesus teacher. That's because he was teaching some good things. He was so powerful with his word. He said, release your burden, cast them on me. And if you're doing that, why are you tossing and turning at night? Amen. He said, this is what he said. You got to know where to take your problems. You need to take it. He said, come to Christ. Yeah. Where do you take it? It didn't say, call my friend. It said, call upon Jesus. We need to take it to the throne. Because sometimes we take it to our friends. It's kind of like when I was in Bassfield, Dr. Evans, and we was feeding them pigs. We'll throw some slop out there, and the pigs will eat the slop, and then there'll be some mud and water, and they'll just wallow all in the mud. When you keep talking about your problem, you just bring it right back up. Then you get mad again. You don't even know why you're mad. Don't spoil your day. He's trying to teach you. The great teacher is trying to tell us something. He said, bring it to me. One thing you cannot do is fret. You can't worry about it all the time. One thing you can't do, you just can't flee about it. You can't flee and run from everything in your life. And you can't fight all your problems. You'll be fighting all day and accomplish nothing. You fight everything that comes your way. God is saying, bring your problems to me. The great teacher is letting us know. He said, look, all who have what? Labor and what? That means you got a load on your back. And he said, I will give you what? I heard someone say last week, I just be asking Jesus to clear my mind. Just to give me some rest. I know Mick Jagger said a long time ago, I just can't get no satisfaction. And I try and I try. Anybody want a life when you get some satisfaction? See, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have some burdens, some loads in life, but it's best to carry the burden and the load of Christ. Because even though you're going through it, he said, I give you rest. One thing about when you're doing things in sin, you can't get no rest. Some of you, I don't know who I'm talking to, you're thinking about retaliating on somebody right now. You're going to end up with your picture on TV. Then you have to pay more money for getting out. Or you at your job, you may think about retaliate. Now you done lost your job. Them bills still come in. Y'all know that, right? Pride, you lose your pride, but pride will come back. Christ is saying, bring it to the throne. I will give you rest. Here's another verse in Isaiah 55:1. It says, come, everyone who what? I am thirsting for some peace. He said, everyone who is thirsting, come to me. He says, come to the waters, and and he who has what? You know some folks out there, you got a problem, you can't figure it out. You may not have no money, you may not have no solution, you may not know what's going on, but you got to ask yourself, God, what do I need to do? I'm going to bring this to you because I know you're in complete control. You know the same God that split the Red Sea is the same God we serve. You know the same God that took 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, fed a multitude, right? I don't care how big your problem is, it's not too big for our God. He's saying, bring it to me. I'm like Dr. Phil. Some of you out there, and me too, been trying to handle my problems on my own, my burdens on my own. And I end up staying up late at night. Like Dr. Phil say all the time, when you try to handle stuff on your own, how is it working out for you? How is it working out for you? Are you walking into a cafeteria and getting ready to eat some food and your hand shaking because your nerves bad? Are you out there smoking another cigarette because you're trying to keep your nerves together? When you got the word of God, you don't need Jack and Daniel. You don't need Crown and Royal. You don't need the left-hand cigarette. You just need, anybody just need Jesus today? I just need you to lighten this load. One thing that Christ does in our life, and we all should understand this, sometime he will relieve us from that stress. And sometime he'll remove whatever is stressing you. There's some people in your life, he's bringing you, Hell in your life, and he'll remove that person. That person may leave the job or get a promotion, go somewhere. Sometimes he will remove that problem, but some problems he will not remove, and he'll just relieve. It says, even though I'm going through this, just give me a little rest, God. He said, come to me, those who thirst. Anybody thirsting for a peace of mind right now? Anybody like Mick Jagger, you can't get no satisfaction? He's saying, come to me. The great teacher is letting us know in our life, when we're saying we serve God, our spiritual talk got to match up with our spiritual walk. He said, first, he said, come to Christ. Number 2, he said, walk with Christ. Man, when you take up a yoke, if you think about, I don't know if you've been in the field, but I know a yoke, you may have one ox and another ox, but Christ is saying, while you're carrying this load, I'll be beside you to help you carry it on through. Amen. They built these ox things back in the day, and they had it perfectly fitted. It was well fitted. That's what the Bible said. I'll give you rest. It was well, and it said give you ease. It was well fitted. The carpenter made it to fit the ox. I'm going to say it again. That problem that you have in your life is well fitted for you right now. And if he's not going to remove you from that problem, he's just going to relieve you from that problem, then I tell you one thing in your life. Think of this right here. There's some blessing in there for you. He's trying to teach you something. If he won't remove it, God, just say, God, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm going to trust you. Man, look at these ox. And I want somebody to help me carry this heavy load. Here goes another picture I saw. Sometimes we have people in our life, they pull them against us. God said, don't link up with folks that's unequally what? Anybody try to change somebody? Like Dr. Phil, how's it working out for you? And the last one, now you end up mad. You're an ox and you up here with a donkey. God is telling you, to come to him and stop trying to do things on our own. Now, once we come to Christ and we walk with Christ, we also need to come and learn from Christ. He said, and learn from me. Learn from me. If you look over your life, he did it before and he'll do it again. He's saying, learn from me. The great teacher is saying, come to me. Anybody need to give something to Christ this morning? Come on now. Am I the only one that need to give something to Christ? That problem that's too big for me, that I can't handle, but God can handle. In life, man, if it ain't one thing, it's another. There was a story of this negative farmer and a positive farmer. They were sitting out, they walked outside, and the positive farmer said, man, thank the Lord that it's raining. It's raining that our crops will receive nourishment and receive water. That the positive farmer said. The negative farmer said, well, it might rain too much and drown out our crops. Then the next day, the positive farmer said, man, the sun is out. Thank the Lord that we have sunshine to get some nutrients and all that. And then the negative farmer said, well, it might scorch out our crops and we may not have no crops. You know somebody always find a negative? Then the positive farmer decided to go ahead and take him out hunting with him. He took him out hunting. They went duck hunting. They was in a boat and he saw a duck and he shot the duck and the duck fell down. And he told the negative farmer, he said, watch my dog. Dog, go get him. Dog jumped out the boat. The dog ran on top of the water. The dog went and got the duck. And then, just a miracle again, he ran back on top of the water and jumped on the boat and then put the duck right next to the positive guy. And the positive farmer said, hey, what do you think about that? The negative farmer said, I knew that dog couldn't swim. He didn't see all that positive. He just saw that one negative thing. And if it ain't negative, he made it up. Man, you got to get around some folk that see the positive thing. If you don't, you'll be at work every day and they find everything wrong. At least I got a job. They'll be in the house talking about something that ain't working. One of your faucets ain't working, but you got 15 other faucets that's working. Sometimes you got to thank God for where we are in life. Because if we don't appreciate what we have, we might not have it long. I had a guy call me the other day to he want a raise. And I ran some numbers. And I'm like, this truck right here ain't making no money. And I ran some numbers, you missing loads and all that. He called me again, cousin. I need to text me. Hey, what about a raise? It's been a few, And I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking about firing you. A whole lot of y'all at work raising the sand, talking about you deserve more. They thinking about letting you go right now. Sometimes you got to leave well enough alone and work some things out. But Christ is letting us know we got to learn from. Look what he said, I am gentle and what? Man, one thing about life, when you realize you can't handle it, you become humble and turn it over to Jesus. Once you realize this problem is too big for me, Christ has said, humble yourself. Because what happened in life, when we can't handle it and we turn it over, God gets the glory. We can't even comprehend what he's doing in our lives. But we do know God is working something out for his good. I remember in the Bible, Abraham, some 99 years old, his wife was beyond the childbearing years. And God gave him a promise, say, hey, you're going to have a baby, right? Sarah laughed. But it happened. But this is my point. Abraham was not focusing on the problem. I'm 99, you old. Abraham was focused on the promise. There's a lesson in there. Sometime in life, we look at stuff that's stacked against us. We're focusing on the problem. We're not focusing on the promise. Man, when God said he's going to do it, he's going to do exactly what he said. You won't be able to comprehend. Are you going today relieve your burden? Are you going to let go and let God? Are you going to let God handle the burdens in your life? That's the question today. And if you do that, he will lighten your load. I don't know about you. I want a little less stress in my life. Man, people say in life, you control what you can, accept what you cannot. That is so true. He said, I will give you rest for who? Your soul. Your soul. And look at John 14:27. He says, I'm leaving you with who? Peace of who? And what else? Man, you get over 30 years old, you just want a peace of mind. And the peace I give is a gift that the world can what? Cannot give, so what? Don't do what? Don't be troubled and afraid. This is my question today. Are you troubled and afraid? When you walk out of here today, have you made your mind up that burden that's too heavy for you? Have you made your mind up that I'm going to take it to the throne of Christ? Have you made your mind up what's weighing you down right now, that you're going to do all you can and God going to do the things that you can't? Have you made your mind up that you're going to truly trust the teacher that he's teaching us? He's teaching us to give it to him. If you do that, your life will get better today. Because if we're waiting for everything to be rosy and to fit our thinking, we'll never be happy in life. But when you cast your cares on God, your load's a little bit lighter. You walk a little lighter. You feel a little better. Anybody ready to feel better today? I'm ready to feel better. And I'm telling you, life is always going to bring you something. So get used to it. The devil comes into your life to burden you down. And sometimes when we take his ways, what we do the wrong thing. We end up in sin. And whenever you have the burden of the devil, you'll never get rest. I saw a gentleman the other day named Derek. I was at the store up there, and I got out the car. I coached him at Jones, and I said, Derek. And he looked around and started moving like this. And I'm like, what's wrong, man? He said, I didn't know who that was. I'm like, you must not be living right. You're in pharmaceutical sales, not the one you go to school for. You can't get no rest. Yeah, you're riding in fine cars and all that, but you cannot get no rest. If you're not doing the will of God, you'll never get rest. Because Christ said, look, bring it to me. I will be there for you. Those who are heavy burdened and laden. And he's letting us know he got exactly what you need. Exactly what you need. And I'm asking you today, are you ready to take that pill that he has for you? Because when Satan comes to you, he's going to give you a better idea. He's going to try to tell you to figure it out. And you're not going to figure it out. I've been in this world a long time, and I've realized this right here. I can't figure some people out. I don't know why some folks do what they do. But I do know this. You're not going to ruin my day. You're not going to mess my day up. Because you're going through something, or because something is on your heart, you need to cast those burdens to Jesus. You can't cast them on me. You at the red light yelling at everybody, at the stop signs, showing different moves with your hand, going through something. You ain't going to spoil my day. Somebody asks you a question, you snapping because you under pressure. And pressure going to bust a pipe. If you want to be in the crazy house, keep handling the pressure by yourself. I'm going to tell you what, Mr. Sam, when I was a kid in Bassfield, we used to have some cereal, and they was called Cocoa Puff. And I just remember the commercial, the parrot would go there and he'll eat some of the Cocoa Puff. And whenever he eat the Cocoa Puffs and they digest, they say he go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You try to handle all these problems by yourself, you gonna go cuckoo for your Cocoa Puff. You have to digest good things. The devil gonna say digest bitterness, digest hatred, digest everything that's not going right in your life. And you talking about going cuckoo in this world. And I'm at a point in my life, I want to be at peace. I want some happiness in my life. And I would not get happiness, and you would not get happiness until we cast our cares unto the Lord. Do what we can and understand if he don't take us out of it, then he's just going to give us some rest through it. And while he's giving us rest through it, we understand there's a blessing on the other side. We don't understand. We never will understand. So I don't know what you're facing today. Think about what you're facing. And think about it as something you can handle on your own. And you know you can't handle it on your own. Give it to the throne of Christ. This wasn't no shouting message today, but this is a lighten your load message today. And I'm telling you, somebody that can carry it. You cannot carry. Your shoulder's not big enough. But you deserve. The Bible said, be of good cheer. When you walk around, you smile. You woke up this morning. When you walk out, come on now, come on. Anybody happy you woke up this morning? You got folks facing heart surgery. They telling you, hey, it's a 50% chance when we open your heart up that you may or may. They face that's some trouble right there. We talking about a bill late. we talking about somebody mad at us. Somebody done us wrong. That's some real problems out there. Might not like your house, but you had a roof over your head. Somebody on the bridge this morning. Might not like your clothes, might not be the right style, but you got something on to keep you warm. Sometimes we just got to thank God for what he has done in our lives and be grateful where we are. Have an attitude of gratitude, and whatever things that burden you, release them and give them to someone who cares and who can do something about it. Don't give them to everybody else around you. Give it to the one who cares, who can relieve your burden. If you receive the message, let's give God a hand clap of praise. We hope you enjoyed the message today. It is now time for Tithes and Offering. There are 3 ways to give. You can use our CashApp at the bottom of the screen. You can also text, and it's at the bottom of the screen. Or if you would like, we have a Dropbox here at the church where you can drop off your giving. Now, if something was said today that moved you and you want to give your life to Christ, we would like for you to call us at 601-408-7156. We want to talk to you about your decision today.